Recruiting never stops, so we won't stop talking about it. We've got big updates on some key targets for Texas in the class of 2026 on today's edition of the BK Show. What's up, guys and gals? Welcome in to another edition of the BK Show on YouTube. It's Texas Under 10, giving you everything you need to know about the Texas Longhorns in less than 10 minutes because you've got shit to do. Let's talk recruiting. We're going to be focusing a lot more on recruiting here on this channel moving forward. I've scavenged the insider sites so you don't have to. And the trending topics today, we're going to focus on some defensive line updates, again, regarding the class of 2026. We'll start with this one from our friends at On Texas Football. We've got the screen share rocking as well. Jamon Winfield, Texas defensive line coach Kenny Baker was up in Richardson yesterday, attending Richardson practice and holding an in-home visit with four-star defensive lineman Jamon Winfield, who is currently committed to USC. But if you know anything about recent USC recruiting under Lincoln Riley, that doesn't mean a whole lot. The Trojans have had a lot of success early in recruiting cycles, getting commitments from out-of-state kids all over the country. They have not had a lot of success keeping commitments from out-of-state kids all over the country. So Texas isn't going away here, nor should they. The good news, Jamon Winfield has an official visit set for Texas this June. The Horns always want to recruit big boys in the trenches. And of course, they want to keep the best players in Texas here in the state of Texas. Jamon Winfield, a top 85 player in the country for the class of 2026, according to the 24/7 Sports Composite rankings. And yeah, Texas will stay in the hunt for Jamon Winfield for as long as they can. I've got a feeling this is going to be a recruitment that goes into the high school and college football season. Of course, National Signing Day. The first National Signing Day is in December. But the Longhorns, yeah, Kenny Baker in Richardson yesterday. Texas will get Winfield on campus for an OV when we get to June. So a positive update there. Now we move on to James Johnson, a four-star defensive tackle from the Miami area, Northwestern High School out there to be specific. Steve Sarkisian and the aforementioned Kenny Baker were scheduled to have a Zoom call with James Johnson today to talk about planning an official visit in the month of June. Johnson was actually here in Austin earlier in April, and he had a great visit by all accounts, according to a couple of different insider sites. But the Horns are trying to make sure that they can get an OV on the books for James Johnson. He currently has a Miami visit set for June 6th through the 8th. He's got a Florida visit set up. He's got a Georgia visit set up. We'll see if Texas can get something on the books and set in stone. You can have 5 official visits this summer. So the Longhorns, it sounds like Texas will get one of those 5 for James Johnson. No, not that James Johnson. No, not that James Johnson either. But we'll see exactly when he will be making his way back to Austin, Texas. And another top 85 player in the country for the class of 2026. So if Texas can get either Jamon Winfield or James Johnson, you'd be happy. If you can pair both of those guys together, then you've got a great foundation on your defensive line for the class of 2026 and a couple of guys who can hopefully help Texas compete and win games in 2027, 2028, and beyond as well. Of course, the Longhorns went into SEC country for 2 of its 3 defensive line signees in the number 1 class of 2025. Justice Terry signed from the state of Georgia, and Myron Charles signed from the state of Florida. Speaking of Florida, heck, the Longhorns went out of state for all 3 of their D-tackle commits in this class of 2025. Josiah Sharma was the other one, another early enrollee who is here for the spring. He's from the state of California. So Kenny Baker, only 1 recruiting cycle under his belt, did a really, really good job. And this is kind of the first full recruiting cycle that Kenny Baker is allowed to be a part of since taking over as the Longhorns defensive line coach. Again, plenty of success. The Horns brought in a great class in 2025. All of those kids out of state. We'll see if Texas can have that same out-of-state success, but also keep some of the top kids here within the state of Texas as well. One more on the defensive line. How about Dre Quinn, another out-of-stater from Greater Atlanta Christian School. Ignore the spelling of school. I forgot the spell check. Don't worry about that. Should have had ChatGPT write that for me. Dre Quinn, another Georgia kid, a 3-star. He recently cut down his list of teams to 6. He had more than 30 offers from around the country. Texas made the cut for Dre Quinn's final 6. So did Clemson, so did Georgia, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, and Tennessee. So the Longhorns still have some work to do here. We're still a ways away from getting any sort of commitment announcement from Dre Quinn. But again, good news, the Longhorns are in the top 6. And the other good news, Quinn was just here for an unofficial visit a couple of weeks ago, and he also has an official visit set up for June 13th through 15th. That's going to be a massive, massive weekend for the Longhorns in about a month and a half. Our friends over at Horns 24/7 caught up with Dre Quinn after his recent unofficial to Texas. They got some quotes from Dre Quinn. He said, "It was amazing. You know, the young coaches, I can relate to them, the environment and the city. I love the atmosphere. I love talking to Coach Sark. The GM, Brandon Harris, he's young, so I can relate to him. The culture here, it's we over me. It's family oriented." End quote. Where did the Longhorns find themselves standing in Quinn's recruitment following that trip? By the way, that was Dre Quinn's first ever trip to the 40 acres. He said, quote, "Man, top 3. Like it checks off all the boxes with education. The degree here holds a lot of value. Great football. And like I said, great culture. You're in the city, not in the middle of nowhere. You can't say anything bad about it. I'm glad I took this visit out here." End quote. Love that. High praise for the city of Austin, the University of Texas, and most importantly, the Longhorn football program as well. It's we over me. The success is there. And yeah, it helps being in a city with an international airport. Texas and Vanderbilt, the only 2 SEC universities located in cities with international airports. There's a lot going on in Austin, Texas all of the time. And that is a recruiting chip that Texas can use. The Longhorns offered Dre Quinn in late January. Seems like they're in good standing. Our friends at Horns 24/7 said Georgia, Clemson, and Notre Dame are seemingly the biggest competitors with this recruitment. Dre Quinn, 6'4", 228 pounds, the 27th ranked edge rusher in the nation and the 28th overall player in the state of Georgia, according to the 24/7 Sports composite rankings. One last tiny nugget here regarding another big man. Multiple insider sites are reporting that Texas is the clear leader in the recruitment of 4-star defensive lineman Dylan Berryman from the state of Louisiana. Another out of state here, maybe following a theme here for this 2026 recruiting class. Dylan Berryman, 6'1", 6'2", 305 pounds. He is a top 20 defensive lineman in the class of 2026. I think 24/7 Sports, like their specific rankings, have him as the 11th or 12th best D lineman in the class. This guy's got offers from a number of big-time schools across the country: LSU, Oregon, Florida, USC, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. I get it. I said big time, so maybe I shouldn't have thrown the Aggies in there. But a lot of power conference schools in the mix for Berryman. And again, it seems like the Longhorns are in a great spot with him right now. Anytime you could go into Louisiana and get a kid that LSU wants, means you're doing something right. And Kenny Baker's been doing a lot right. And needless to say, the Texas Longhorns have been doing a ton right on the recruiting trail. We'll see if the Longhorns can go back to back with #1 classes in the country. So there you go. I promise we won't just focus on one position room during each of these Texas Under 10 episodes, but we know how much Texas cares about the defensive line, especially after adding 5 of them in the transfer portal this offseason. So I wanted to give you all some positive updates on high school recruiting. Look, you take the 5 transfer portal pickups, that's awesome, and that's going to help the Longhorns in the short term. Some of those guys are here beyond 2025 as well, but I don't think Steve Sarkisian and company want to have to do that again. They'd like to replenish through the high school ranks, and the Horns, again, in good standing with a lot of the top D-line targets in 2026. That's going to do it for today's edition of Texas Under 10. If you made it this far, please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please comment below with your thoughts, feedback, and future video ideas. Remember, when you watch the BK show, you rule. I'll see y'all soon. Hook 'em.